Hello, I'm Chris Pattle, and for the last 5 years I've been running a website called Brick Ranker. It's a website that tracks the value of Lego sets, minifigures, and even individual parts. And one of the questions I get asked quite frequently is, what is the most valuable and expensive Lego set? So to answer that question, I thought I'd make this video counting down the top 10 most expensive Lego sets based on sales in the last 6 months of sealed copies of each of these sets. Now, Brick Ranker does track actual sales, so these aren't estimated figures, these are actually what people paid for these sets, so they are the most accurate figures that you'll find on the internet. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Starting off this list at number 10, we have Market Street. Now this is a very famous set because it's kind of the set that kickstarted the modular building theme, which is now an incredibly popular and successful theme for Lego. Now this entry is for the inside tour version of Market Street, not the normal version. And for those of you that don't know, the Lego Inside Tour takes place at the Lego house, and it's the ultimate 3-day Lego fan experience. And it's basically a tour where you get to see parts of the house that you wouldn't normally see. You also get a tour of the Lego factory. You get a one-on-one session with a Lego designer. Plus, more importantly, you get given an exclusive Lego set. And in 2007, Market Street was the set which was given out to people on that tour. Now, if you're looking to buy a sealed copy of the Inside Tour version of Market Street, you'd be looking at around £3,200, whereas if you were to buy the normal version, it would only be around £1,600, so basically half the price. And what is interesting is that the Inside Tour costs around £2,500, and however, if you'd have gone on that set and then sold this set on eBay afterwards, you'd have actually made money. So yeah, I guess it kind of pays to actually go on that tour. Moving on to number 9, we have another Inside Tour set. This one is from 2018, and it's the Ferguson Tractor. This set pays homage to a little bit of Lego history because in 1951, Lego brought out a plastic Ferguson Tractor toy, which was a massive success, and actually meant in the following year, Lego made more money from its plastic toys than it did from its wooden toys. So I guess it's one of those turning points in Lego history which kind of pushed Lego into making more plastic-based toys. For a sealed copy of the Ferguson Tractor, on average, you'd be looking at paying £3,500. Next up, at number 8, we have another Inside Tour set. You're going to see these quite a lot on this list. This time it's the Clumsy Hans set, which was given out in 2015. Once again, this is a recreation of a historical Lego product because in 1936, Lego brought out the Clumsy Hans wooden toy, which is based on a character in the fairy tale written by Hans Christian Andersen. Now, this is actually one of the worst Inside Tour sets, I think. It is very, very blocky. And one thing I should point out is the Inside Tour sets are often actually not very good. They have lots of stickers, which kind of makes sense because, why would Lego put like a lot of effort into a set which is only going to give out to a handful of people? Having said all that, if you did want to buy the Clumsy Hand set, you'd be looking at around £3,830. At number 7, we have our first Star Wars set, and it's the Clone Wars pack. This set was limited to 1,200 copies, and it was given away at Comic-Con in 2008. Now, what's interesting about this set is nothing about it is exclusive, because inside it has sets 7670 and 7654, and these were sets which were available to anyone. The only good thing about getting this set is you just got hold of those sets a bit earlier than everybody else. So I do find it strange why this set is so high up on this list, but I guess anything that is Star Wars based is extremely sought after. A sealed copy of this set is worth £3,880, so just a touch more expensive than the Clumsy Hand set we mentioned previously. At number 6, and staying on Star Wars, we have the Yoda Chronicles promotional set. This set was given out in New York in 2013, specifically to journalists who attended the Yoda Chronicles, a 7-part animated series on Cartoon Network. It has 2 minifigures. They are Female Padawan and Yoda. Female Padawan did later appear in other Star Wars sets, but in this set she had an exclusive face printing. Yoda was not exclusive. So if you want to buy these minifigures individually, they'll cost you £180 and £13 respectively. If you want to buy a sealed copy of the set, you're looking at just over the £4,000 mark. In spots 5, 4 and 3, we have a trio of Inside Tour sets. The first is the Moulding Machines from 2021, and this one's quite interesting because it's based on the actual machines that Lego uses to make Lego pieces. This set is worth £4,060. At number 4, we have the Piper Aeroplane. This set was given out on the 2012 version of the Inside Tour and is worth £4,600. And finally, we have the Cars set, which was given out in 2010. This features 3 brick-built cars and is £5,000 for a sealed copy. Okay, on to the top 2, and we're back on Star Wars. And this is the first set on this list that wasn't an exclusive set. It was available to the general public, so anyone could go into a Lego store. At the time it was brought out in 2001 and buy it, and it's set 118 Darth Maul. Now this set is interesting for so many reasons. First of all, it's one of the most unique / creepy Star Wars sets that Lego has ever brought out. Secondly, it's the only Star Wars set that ever had a completely black and white box. Even the Star Wars logo and the Lego logo were printed in black and white. One other set was brought out in a black and white box, which was the Tantive set, but Lego later brought that out in a box which did have colour. And this set was released in October 2001 and retired in October 2002. Now, one of the reasons why this set is extremely rare is just because it is one of the very, very early Star Wars sets. Plus, it was only sold in Lego stores, meaning you wouldn't find it in any other toy store. If you did want to buy it, it would set you back around £5,800. However, none of the parts in the set are exclusive, meaning if you wanted to, you could just go out and buy the parts individually and then build it, which is what I plan on doing in the future. So stay tuned for that video. Okay, wrap number 1 on this list, and you probably already know what this set is, but it's the Star Wars Cloud City set. A very famous set, mainly because it featured the Boba Fett minifigure, which was the first minifigure to ever have arm printing. If you were to buy that minifigure separately, it would probably cost you around £2,000. Once again, this was one of the very, very early Star Wars sets, and finding a sealed copy of it now is extremely hard. There's probably, less than a handful of sealed copies out there, and it just seems to get more expensive every single year. Right now, you'd be looking at paying around £7,000 for a sealed copy. Now, one thing which I do want to point out is there are probably more expensive Lego sets out there, but they're probably sets where there's only like 1 or 2 ever made, so it's very hard to actually purchase those sets. These are all kind of sets that you can actually go out and buy on eBay or on Bricklink, places like that. So that brings me to the end of this video. If you did enjoy it, please do leave a like and consider subscribing if you want to see more Lego content in the future. Thanks again for watching, and see you in the next one.